Isak cannot leave Newcastle. He can't. No. Oh, look at this. Breaking news just as I'm doing the video. It says here, Alexander Isak tells Newcastle he wants to explore other options. Oh, isn't that just wonderful? This must be what McGregor's wife feels like when he tells her he's just downloaded Tinder on his phone. He actually wants to leave. He wants to get out of here. He doesn't want Newcastle United anymore. We're actually going to lose Isak now. We're actually on the verge. He wants to go. That's why he's not gone to Asia. Oh, what are we going to do? Literally, what are we going to do? This is Newcastle's best striker since Shearer. And we're only going to get, what, 2, 3 measly years out of him? With Shearer, we got 10. Can he not see the vacancy at Liverpool has been filled? Ekatike is literally taking your job, pal. Liverpool are taking someone else to the dance. So, yeah, you should sit home playing chess with the dog. Can't believe he actually wants to go. I've been convincing myself all summer long that he won't go. He will show loyalty. He wants to be at Newcastle. Do you think Newcastle signed Elanga just because they like him as a player? Nah, it's because he's Swedish, mate. We signed him for you. This is a transfer request. Pure and simple. This wasn't supposed to happen to Newcastle United anymore. Not after the takeover. I mean, when Man City got bought out, they only ever had to contend with one transfer request since. Carlos Tevez in 2010. Weirdly, that was nearly a year before he got suspended for refusing to come off the bench. That was one. Tevez wanted to go because he was apparently homesick. But I mean, Tevez is about as loopy as the pick of Looney Tunes because he always maintained he was going to retire at 28. That's it. One transfer request City have had to put up with. But Newcastle, this is the first transfer request we've had to deal with since Yohan Cabaye went on strike. And it's a horrible feeling. Having a player tell you they don't want you anymore and want to explore other options, I feel sick. Why does he want to go? Why? Liverpool have actually turned his head. You've fully gone and tickled his ears, and I'm silently outraged. This feels like someone stuck into my bedroom and cut off my teddy bear's head. It feels like I've just discovered Susan Boyle in my bathroom cleaning her ears with my toothbrush. This feels like a violation. Isak is our player, not yours. How could you do this? It's devastating. I'm crashing out. I'm freaking out. Champions League night at St James's Park this season, and he wants out? What more do you want, mate? You're already worshipped as a Newcastle United legend. The number 9 shirt is vacant for you to slide into.
You won't do well next year, whatever. This summer, he wants to go, he wants out. He wants to transfer. So all along, when we're seeing, it's not good, this is it. Him not being involved in Celtic. Even the day, man, people are still can't get their head around. People are saying, he's injured. What's the matter? He's just injured. I cannot believe some people, honestly. I mean, if you're that deluded and you've got that much of bloody black and white tinted glasses, I mean, I'll have that at the best of times. But when you can't put 2 and 2 together and you think that's normal, you're absolutely off your nut. You really are. If you thought leaving your star striker out of a 2-week pre-season tour was just because you had a minor thigh injury, you're mental. You just are. Or you're just so, like, in it, you can't get it, you can't see it. But people were still saying this morning in my video when I was saying, that's him off, and definitely he's totally unsettled, head's gone. May even mention it from Celtic, got loads of stick for it. You're overreacting, you're feeding the negative reports, it's not true, doesn't want to go. Well then, Daily Mail's put it out there now, it's their exclusive, they're saying. Sure, it won't be long before others have picked up on it, and Romano and The Athletic and Sky and everyone will be reporting it. Because you don't come out with that if it's not true, and again, you don't come out with stuff that's been coming out the past few weeks, few days at least, from Celtic especially, and then this morning with the pre-season tour stuff. Yeah, you've got to put 2 and 2 together, and 95% of fans, I think, had realised that, we're not daft, we're not stupid. A lot of people realised, it's not right. How convenient the timing of a thigh injury, how convenient that he was just, sent home the other day. First it was managing his minutes, then he was sent home. Didn't he said no? That's why the club said in the video last week, I think it was about this time last week, was it Tuesday on Wednesday? Or maybe Monday? Who knows, it's going mental.
I find the statement wording very strange. It's not a case of I want out, I want to leave. It's I want to explore, which tells me that he understands that maybe the place he wants to go won't pay the money that we want for him. And he may be forced to stay because of that, unless he chooses to go somewhere where we can accept the money for, but he doesn't want to go to. If that makes any sense to everyone out there.
It makes sense to me. I mean, reading between the lines, Billy, I do feel like if this was... Why has the report not come out as Alexander Isak wants to join Liverpool?
Exactly.
That's not what anybody has said. Nobody has said that. Everybody has talked about exploring options or exploring a transfer this summer or a move. I think a move was the specific word. So the fact that they've not referenced, nobody's referenced Liverpool specifically, apart from the fact they hold an interest in him, is weird. I find that a very weird one. Luke Edwards has come out very much in the opposite form, our knight in shining armour, as it were. And he's released an article about, so specifically the title of this for the Telegraph is Eddie Howe and Yasser Al-Rumayyan have agreed to dig in and fight to resist all offers for their striker. Capitulation is not an option. So Luke Edwards is under the impression, no chance. We are digging in. This is our play. You've got 3 years. We are not getting mugged off in this situation because it's not going to be beneficial for us unless we get a giant pot of money.
Yeah, and I understand that. However, to play devil's advocate, you may be left with an unhappy player who doesn't perform to, or doesn't show up, just creates a bad atmosphere in the dressing room. Then you get disharmony in the dressing room, and who knows what happens after that. But you've got to try and pay one off against the other. I think you've got to find the money get the money that we want for him.
A window for Newcastle. It absolutely is. Missing out on key targets. You've got to wonder, at what point did Isak decide that he wanted to go? Because if he'd wanted to leave at the start of this summer, then have Newcastle been holding them back? And Newcastle have been saying to him, wait, we're not going to let you go. Has it got to a point now where Isak's watched Newcastle fail to get Delap, fail to get Pedro, fail to bring in reinforcements this summer, and has turned around and gone, you know what? You're not delivering on what I asked you to deliver. You've not delivered on the players that I was promised. Now maybe it's me who should make the move. Obviously, Liverpool interest is what kind of caused the storm. They went and bought Ekitike instead. The reports were that Isak turned around and said he wanted a 300 grand contract to stay at Newcastle. And I spoke about this morning. I mean, is there any other way to say I want to go than to ask Newcastle, whose current top highest player is 150 grand, and say, well, I want 300. Basically, what you're doing is you're asking for a fee that's unachievable in the hope that Newcastle say no, therefore we'll have to sell you or we'll have to move you on, whether it's this summer or next summer. Well, it doesn't appear to be the case that Alexander Isak's willing to wait for next summer and instead is wanting out now.
How long have we known that Isak was unhappy with his current deal? What was the deal that Amanda promised him, which we are told now Mitchell told him he wasn't going to get? And that's all. I haven't seen any categoric evidence of that other than the article that Craig Hope wrote saying that Isak has been disgruntled since then. When was that exactly? When did that conversation take place? Because if we've known about that for months and months and months, why wasn't something done about it? Either in terms of selling Isak or giving him a new contract. Everybody knows that right now, wherever he goes, he's going to be on 300k a week. No doubt about that at all. Could we have paid him £300 a week? Probably not up front, but we could have probably done a deal, 250 and 50 in bonuses if we qualify for the Champions League, if we win it, whatever. That deal could have been done. And this again, and it's now all stemming back to PIF and the appointments that they are not making. Darren Eales, God bless him, sympathy to, for his illness and all of that. But if he's incapable of running the show properly, and by all accounts, everything that we've heard about this transfer window suggests that he is, Mitchell leaving virtually on the day the transfer window opens is, it's unacceptable. That's what it is.
Between now and the end of the summer, and that leaves Newcastle United in a hugely tricky situation. Because I must stress Newcastle's stance has not changed on the matter at all, whether it's Eddie Howe, the ownership, anybody around the club that you speak to. the message is simple. They do not want to sell Alexander Isak this summer. And you suspect, unless a huge offer comes in, or Alexander Isak goes to Eddie Howe and knocks on that door and says, look, Gaffer, I'm not going to play for you unless you give me the move that I want. You suspect Newcastle will stick to that stance. They're not going to let Alexander Isak go on the cheap, and they're not going to make it for any other clubs to get him, given how important he is to Eddie Howe and the team. As we sit here on Thursday afternoon, obviously this information is pretty fresh, but it does look like one of two scenarios are going to play out for Newcastle in the next couple of weeks. Scenario one is that Alexander Isak goes. Now, for that to happen, you are probably going to need a deal probably in excess of 130 million, maybe even up to 150 million to get that deal done before Newcastle even get to the negotiating table. If that does happen, Newcastle then have 4 to 5 weeks to not only replace Alexander Isak, which is going to be an almighty task on its own. You then have to think of the fact they still need a backup striker to Isak. They still need a central defender. They still arguably need a goalkeeper. They've been pursuing the likes of James Trafford for about 12 months. You could argue there's still 4 or 5 positions in that team that need strengthened, and that is before you lose somebody as crucial to this team as Alexander Isak.